Hi ladies, so I want to do a video on hair health and quality of hair. So if you're struggling with hair loss or thinning hair, or maybe you just overall want to support healthier hair growth, then this video is for you. I'm going to just touch on a couple of the different factors that can be at play if you're dealing with hair loss or thinning hair, and then we'll dive into them a little deeper. So if you have not heard me talk before, you've not met with me, I'm Liz Reeson, registered dietitian and founder of the Hormone Hub. So I'm really focusing on helping women to identify hormone imbalances and get their body healthy, feel confident, comfortable in their skin, because that's just so important for you and really allow you to express and love yourself. So let's jump in. The most common issue when it comes to hair loss or thinning hair and women is iron. So iron, being a nutrient, it's a mineral. It's very important with the growth of our hair. And the reason that women tend to be low in iron is going to be because of our period. We're bleeding once a month. If you're not, then you still could have an issue with iron stores, and we call that anemia. So anemia can develop because of loss of blood. So through the period, if you have a heavy period, or maybe you have frequent period, or it's long, then all of those things can lead to iron deficiency and anemia. But we can also get anemia with nutrients such as B12 or folate. So if you have low levels of those B vitamins, you can also end up with anemia and low iron. So very important to understand it all. The good news is that these are very easy tests to have run. So you can contact your doctor to have an iron panel run, and then also you can look at your B12 and folate levels to see if there's any risk of anemia there. Of course, you can make sure to take a multivitamin. I definitely recommend that. If you are low and you tend to have a history of anemia, then you can jump up to a prenatal. So a prenatal vitamin will have a little bit more of that iron in there, and folate and B12, so you can get those added nutrients. So even if you're not planning to have a baby, you're not pregnant, you're not breastfeeding, you can still take a prenatal. It's just a kind of boosted multivitamin. So that could be a good option for you too. But of course, check with your doctor first before introducing or trying anything new like that. And then you can also ask them to run the test so you know for sure what's going on. From there, the next thing I would look at would be your thyroid, because again, as women, our thyroid can kind of get wacky, and it's a pretty common issue. So the thyroid is involved in our metabolism, but it's also going to be involved in our hair growth. So if you have thinning hair or hair falling out and it's abnormal, it's higher than usual, I would definitely also look at your thyroid levels. So again, very easy test. You can ask your doctor to have that run and be able to just check to make sure your thyroid is okay. Things too, I would say, that can affect your thyroid would be stress. So whether or not you had, a stressful event, we all had a stressful year, unpredictable, or you just hold a lot of stress in your body. If you're very sensitive to stress, you can throw your thyroid off from that. And then another thing would be the diet. So our thyroid, from now with low carb being such a big diet craze, and the keto diet in particular, the thyroid can very easily become affected if you're not getting enough carbohydrates. So that is something where if you've kind of noticed hair loss and hair thinning, plus you changed your diet, maybe you're doing a very low carb diet or a keto diet, or vegan, there might be nutrients there that are being lost. And so just pay attention, make sure you're working with somebody, a dietitian like myself, to help make sure that your diet is going to give your body everything that it needs. Okay, so we have iron you'd want to look at, B vitamins you want to look at, the thyroid, and then another thing would be your other hormones. So we talked about your period affecting your iron levels and then therefore affecting your hair, but along with your period is going to come the estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone hormones. So these can also play a role when it comes to hair health and hair loss. So especially high androgens. So testosterone is one of your androgens, but we also have another one called DHEA, and this one's produced by our adrenal glands, which also produces cortisol. So if there's any inkling with stress, or you have symptoms of high androgens, which would be hair loss, also could be, hair growth on your face or on your chest, just on the body where you should have it. So it's kind of, you lose hair where you want it, you get hair where you don't want it. And then other things could be a very high libido if you have high androgens, high muscle mass, so you tend to gain muscle mass very easily. These can all be symptoms associated with high androgens. So that can be important to look at. If you have PCOS, then that is the kind of linking factor between all the different types of PCOS is going to be high androgens. But then we have the estrogen progesterone balance as well. So all of our hormones need to be in balance. This is why I work specifically with women in hormone balance, because they all interact with each other and they're all important to know. Levels are all important to take in consideration when we're working on balancing the body and fixing symptoms. So to know, what might be at play for you, where to start, I would first look at if you have hair regrowth. So if you are having hair loss in high amounts, we're all going to lose some hair. But if you're getting quite a big clump in the shower of hair, or when you brush your hair, you get clumps of hair coming out, that's an issue. So that's when I would look at your diet. I would look at your nutrients if you're taking a good multivitamin or prenatal to really boost that. And then if you have hair regrowth. So if you're noticing the little hairs that are growing back, that's going to give me an idea that you probably have the nutrients there to grow hair, to support hair growth, but you're still losing, way too much hair. So we want to look at the hormones. We want to look at the thyroid. We want to look at whatever factor, maybe stress too is a big one. And I always say stress to people and they tend to be like, I'm not stressed, I'm fine. It's just the normal stuff. But it's really not just about, the quantity of stress that you have in your life. It's about how your body responds to that. So if you have a poor stress response or you're very sensitive to stress, myself included, I had to learn this the hard way, then it's not going to be so much about like, oh, okay, my job's super stressful right now, or I just had, X, Y, and Z happen in my life. It's going to be those little daily stressors are going to have the effect on you as some big stressful event on somebody else who has maybe a very strong stress response, who can handle and adapt well. So identifying where you are in that stress response is important, and it's going to be important for life, because you may need to do things right now with, just the everyday daily stressors that someone else doesn't really have to consider unless they have a really big stressful event in their life. So again, having a health professional, you can reach out to me if you're looking for help and someone to help you with, identifying where you might have imbalances and where you need to support your hormones, because that's going to be important just for long term for life. Everything's going to change. Everything might be okay for you right now, but come 3 months, 6 months, 1 year down the road, it's a totally different story. So that's the cards we were drawn as women, is that our hormones are fluctuating all the time and that they're so sensitive to things. So it's not just about, okay, I had this issue, I fixed it, I'm good. You really need to understand and learn your body and have that support where if something's going wrong, if you're noticing something, and you have somebody on your team that you can reach out to and get help, because it's a lifelong journey for us as women. So don't just think like I need to find the one answer, this one fix, and I'm going to be good for life. It's something that we need to always be working on. And the first step is to understand your body, learn your body, and learn what to pay attention to so that you don't fall into, this huge mess down the road of hormone issues. So just to recap, we want to look at nutrients, iron, B vitamins, especially folate and B12. Those can be, what am I trying to say here? Those I would rule out if you have good hair regrowth. If you're noticing a lot of little hairs, you've got layers of hair regrowing, then you probably have okay nutrients, but we want to look deeper. We want to look at the thyroid. We want to look at overall sex hormones, your estrogen, testosterone, progesterone balance. And then from there, we want to look at your environment, so stress, and then also toxins that could be coming in. If your liver maybe is not unable to filter everything out, or some other issue with detox that we need to support in order to get all of that stuff we talked about out of your body, because hormones will recycle back in and cause issues, and toxins, chemicals, if they're not being pulled out of the body, we're all exposed to them. So we definitely need to always constantly be supporting that detox because we need to pull those out so that they don't come right back into the body and cause issues. So quite a few things here, as you can see, that can lead to hair loss or thinning hair. But I just kind of wanted to jump on, let you know what to look for, what you can, contact your doctor about, and maybe have some testing done just to check what's going on, because there's definitely a reason if you're having an increase in hair loss. So again, clumps of hair coming out in the shower or when you're brushing your hair, that is not normal, and there is a reason for it. So we want to identify that before more things develop and get out of control down the road. So again, please reach out to me any questions you have, or if you're looking for help and support, this is what I do. So we'll figure it out. I love getting, the pieces of the puzzles together, and we can start working through things and just getting you feeling healthy and confident and comfortable in your body and have those answers. So I hope you enjoyed this, and let me know any questions that you have.